Surely you've all heard of pay to win, but is XDefiant actually pay to lose? Hey guys, Nightfall here, and recently there have been some weird rumors circulating about whether or not camos are impacting hit registration. The theory here is that having a camo on a weapon is making the hit reg worse, and simply removing that makes the game feel noticeably better. Hit reg issues occur when you shoot at someone and you see a hit marker, but they don't take any damage. This happens pretty frequently when you shoot at someone and then you die immediately after. Shooting a bullet or two gives you the hit marker, but it shows their health at 100% after they kill you, like it didn't do any damage at all. At least this is when I noticed it the most. Also, these were in unranked matches, and I will say that anytime I've ever complained about hit reg, it's always been in ranked. So I may need to run a separate test for ranked to see if there's any impact there as well. So I'm going to do what we do best around here and put this theory to the test. Before I give you my findings and feedback, I do want to say that this is a very small sample size of just me playing on PC using a controller, so your testing may yield slightly different results, and that's fine. If you have some footage and you want to do your own testing, I would highly recommend doing what I'm about to do so you can actually see if there's any difference at all. So before we actually even look at the clips and put this to the test, I want to explain how this felt to me in game, and whether or not I'm falling victim to a placebo remains to be seen. But I did 2 games running 2 separate tests. Test 1 was with my ACR and test 2 was with my P90, 2 weapons that I know very well and use very often. With my ACR, I have the power wash skin on it, and I played a bit in a team deathmatch with it on, and then about halfway through that game, I took it off. With the ACR, it really felt no different, honestly, and if I had to pick one over the other, I'd say having no camo on the weapon may have made it feel like 0.5% better. Nothing really consistently noticeable though. On my P90 test, I did the same exact thing by switching halfway through a team deathmatch game, started with the Prisma skin on it, and then took it off. And just based on feel alone, the P90 felt way worse after taking the camo off. Just felt terrible. And I don't even know why, because the time to kill felt the same, but it just felt off for some reason. Again, this could simply be a placebo effect, but enough yapping, let's take a look at the footage. And before we play this, I've slowed this down to about 1/10 of the speed so we can see the bullets and the hit markers. And the best way I found to test this is make sure our damage numbers are on so we can match up damage number counters to hit markers. So first up is the ACR test, and the first 4 clips that we're going to look at here is with the power wash skin on. And in this first kill against a GSK, I fired 8 bullets, and the last 2 bullets fired were after they were already dead. So it seemingly took 6 bullets to kill them. And that sounds almost right considering where I was shooting at, but based on the damage numbers of 21 5 times, it only took 5 bullets to kill them, but we still got 6 hit markers, meaning one of those bullets didn't register. Clip number 2, I do miss the second shot a little to the right, and I shoot a total of about 9 bullets here, but again, 5 damage counters, 6 hit markers. Clip number 3, you're probably going to roast me on my aim because I missed like the first 6 shots, but once I get on target, he goes down fairly quick because he was already hurt, but at least this time we get 2 hit markers, 2 damage counters. Then in our final clip with the ACR with the power wash skin on, again, pretty straightforward. I missed some shots, but again, we're still seeing 5 damage counters to 6 hit markers. So the ACR with the power wash camo, we have a total of 20 hit markers, but only 17 damage counters. So we're going to convert that to a percentage and give it an 85%. Now let's take a look at the other half of this game where I took the skin off of it, and watching this first clip back, I question where he was even trying to go. Maybe he doesn't know the map, but I also almost vomited watching my aim because I shot a rainbow around him. But we end up getting 5 damage counters here and 5 hit markers, making this the first full kill with the ACR with 100% hit reg. So no skin is looking pretty good right out of the gate, but let's keep going. Next up, clip number 2. Yes, I know I often aim at people's knees. I'm working on it. But even with my aim being tragic, I still killed him despite having half health. And we got 5 damage counters, but 6 hit markers, so again, 1 miss. Clip 3 is a little interesting because if you look closely, you could argue that there were a couple bullets that shouldn't have hit because of them being a little too far to the right. But then there was also one that was similar placement that didn't hit. This one was tough to tell, the damage counters all stacked up on one another, but they all look to be 21, meaning we should have 5 damage counters, and we do only get 5 hit markers. Then taking a look at the last clip on the ACR with no camo, we get 5 damage counters per the usual 21 damage of the ACR, but we get 6 hit markers. So that pretty much wraps up the ACR testing, and like I said, there wasn't really any noticeable change in game, and I can't directly compare this to how it felt because it was already a small sample size of half a match, and then looking at these is an even smaller sample size of only 4 kills each. But looking at the slowed down footage, we found that the ACR with the power wash skin had an 85% hit reg rate, and without a camo, it ended up being 91%, or just shy of it. So again, tiny sample size, but the ACR with no skin did perform better than with the power wash skin. But let's go check out the P90 skin and see if we can pick up on anything there. First clip, right to the point, we get 6 damage counters, but we get 7 hit markers. Technically, if you pay attention, we do get an 8th hit marker, but he was already dead, so that kind of leads me to believe something more is going on here beyond hit reg, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Moving on to clip 2, yes, I know I missed the first bullet again. It's easy to judge when you're seeing it in slow-mo, but again, we get 6 damage counters of 19 apiece and 6 hit markers. So this one looks good. And as a bonus, what I'm noticing is that my bullets aren't going where my sight is aimed. I'm going to replay clip number 2 again. Pay close attention to where the bullets are actually going compared to where my sight is aimed. It looks like they're off to the right and down a bit from where I'm actually aiming. Not sure if this is an all-around issue, an issue with the sight, or just because I'm moving in this clip, but I feel like that shouldn't happen. Anyway, video for another day. Let's keep moving on to clip number 3, and again I missed shot number 1, no surprise, and the bullets seem off again, but we're still able to land a headshot, so we have 5 damage counters, but we get 6 hit markers. Then to close out this half of the P90 footage, we have clip number 4 where I missed a lot of shots, but again, we get 6 damage counters, 7 hit markers, which was a little more than 7, but he was already dead, which is only furthering what I was thinking before. So with the Prisma skin, we have a hit reg percent of 88%. Now let's check out the clips of the P90 with no skin. And much like clip number 2 with the Prisma skin on, I missed the first shot, which seems to be a pattern I need to get fixed. But we get 6 damage counters with 7 hit markers here. Clip number 2 here with no skin is actually my favorite because it demonstrates to everybody the one issue I absolutely hate with the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra controller: random accelerated inputs of the right stick. You would almost think it's sniper flinch with how bad it is. But once I get back on target, it seems fine up until the very end of the kill, where it looks like one bullet may not have registered, and I could just be seeing things now with the delay of the hit marker and the actual numbers popping up. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is worth noting that I had 7 hit markers, but only 5 damage counters. Also, I wasn't even the one that finished him off, but clearly I should have, considering the unregistered bullets. This next clip, it's kind of hard to tell because the railing is in the way, but I do get 7 damage numbers of 6 19s and 1 17 against the Phantom, but we got 8 hit markers, which means 1 bullet again didn't register. And the final clip of the P90 with no skin shows 5 damage counters, but 6 hit markers. So yet again, 1 bullet failing to register. So we got a total of 23 damage counters and 28 hit markers, which gives us 82%, which is our worst yet. So to wrap this all up, ACR seems to be better without the power wash skin, and the P90 seems to be better with the Prisma over no skin. I'm not sure if this ends up being skin dependent or what other factors are in play here, but the one thing I keep noticing time and time again is mostly I don't think this is even a hit reg issue. This to me seems more of a netcode issue, similar to dying behind walls minus the wall, because a lot of these clips we're getting extra hit markers after the person is already dead. So it's almost like the game isn't registering that the person is dead and somehow still giving hit markers, but not actually doing any damage. And since almost all of these are one off and that one extra bullet would put the damage done to over 120, I'm wondering if somewhere in the netcode it's thinking everyone's a Phantom and still giving hit markers until 120 damage has been dealt, but the damage counters stop after the actual health of the person you shoot, but it still has that delay in actually killing them. But this still happened when shooting a Phantom that I'm positive was at full HP, so I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm just grasping at straws with that. I just think there is a lag or some kind of a delay in the netcode realizing that they're now dead and not really a hit reg issue, which, like I said before, is kind of like dying behind a wall, where Before you get behind the wall, you're already dead, but you don't actually die until you're behind the wall, which makes it seem like you're getting shot around walls. Overall, I don't really think that you can make the hit reg better or worse by the camo you put on your weapon, but again, small sample size of my testing, and even if it is just a placebo effect for most people, placebos can be very strong in boosting confidence and other stuff as well. So if you truly feel that way, if you feel like no camo makes you play better and enjoy the game more, I'm going to be the last person to knock you for that. Strip all your weapons down to their birthday suit if that's what it takes. But now that we got all that out of the way, if you're watching this all the way to the end, you're probably late for our charity stream that's potentially going on right now. So what are you waiting for? Pop in our live stream starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time today, September 14th, and let's have some fun and raise some money for an awesome charity. And just for a social experiment, if you see this video and then head over to the live stream, I want you to put the word elephant in the chat of the stream, and I'll see you over there.